Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Current Affairs session. The first topic that we will take today is about the parliamentary privilege and punishment in case of breach. Okay. Why this came to news? Recently, the Rajya Sabha chairman Jagdeep Dhankar, the Vice President of India, the ex-officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, okay, and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar directed a parliamentary committee to probe the alleged breach of privilege by 12 opposition MP for their disorderly conduct, what resulted in frequent adjournment during the first phase of the budget session, which concluded on February 13th. But the topic, the chairperson of Rajya Sabha directed the parliamentary committee to probe to the alleged breach of privilege done by opposition MP, 12 opposition MP, for their disorderly conduct, okay, inside the house, that resulted in frequent adjournment during the first phase of the budget session, which concluded okay. The chairman also separately referred the matter of repeated submission of identical notice by the Aam Aadmi Party leader Sanjay Singh to the Committee of Privilege in the Upper House. Okay, so this also okay. Even the Aam Aadmi Party leader in the Lok Sabha, he is raising a particular issue, okay, repeatedly submitting identical notice to adjourn the house, okay, and amidst the denial by the chairperson, he repeatedly issuing the notice, which is also can be referred as a breach of privilege of the house. The Rajya Sabha Secretariat informed that chairman has referred a question of an alleged breach of privilege against 12 MPs of Congress and Aam Aadmi Party for violating the rules of the house by entering the well of the house, raising slogans, and persistently and willfully obstructing the proceedings of the house. So these are the normal way to demonstrate, but so these normal process of demonstration are being used on flimsy ground with the intention to interrupt the proceeding of the house or the regular business of the house. As you all know, the regular business of the house, okay, so needs huge amount of taxpayers' money is spent regularly to arrange the sessions of the house and for a limited period, okay. So it only needs that the proper business of the house should be conducted, so the time is properly utilized and the people who have sent the representative to the house, they also get their aspirations fulfilled. Right? Am I clear? The Rajya Sabha Secretariat informed that the chairman has referred a resolution of an alleged breach of privilege against 12 MP of Congress and Aam Aadmi Party for violating the rules of house by entering the well of the house, raising slogans, and persistently and willfully obstructing the proceeding of the house. This includes 9 MP from the Congress and 4 from the Aam Aadmi Party. In addition to this, the bulletin mentioned a separate privilege notice against Aam Aadmi Party Sanjay Singh for non-adherence to the direction of the chair, that means of the chairman of the house, the vice president, Mr. Dhankar, has revoked the AAP leader for repeatedly submitting similar notice seeking suspension of business to discuss the Adani issue when the house was in session. The Aam Aadmi Party leader has obstructed the house and has deposited same notice to discuss the Adani issue in the house when the house was in session. The breach of privilege notice was earlier filed against former Congress President Lok Sabha MP Rahul Gandhi for his remark in the House linking industrialist Gautam Adani with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So this Hindenburg report on the Adani issue has led to much hue and cry all over the country, including inside and outside the parliament. Okay, fine. So it was the breach of privilege notice was also filed against former Congress President and Lok Sabha MP Rahul Gandhi because he tried to obstruct the proceedings of the House on this particular link between Adani and Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. It is a parliamentary privilege. Parliament as an institution and its members in an individual capacity enjoy certain rights and immunities which enable them to perform their parliamentary duty efficiently and effectively without any hindrance. These immunities, called parliamentary privileges, defined as follow in action may treaties on the law, privilege, proceeding and usage of parliament. Parliamentary privilege is the sum of the peculiar rights enjoyed by each house collectively and by members of each house individually, without which they could not discharge their function, and which exceed those possessed by other body or individuals. Thus, privilege, though part of the law of the land, is to be a certain extent an exemption from the general law. House is there for deliberation, for discussion, for okay on different issue. But interrupting the house through these measures provided for benefit and with an intention just to and interpret it to interrupt. Okay, each the issue for which this particular matter has come to light. The immunity called parliamentary privilege is defined as follow in the Dixon May Treaty to law of privileges. Okay. Proceeding uses parliament. Parliamentary privilege is the sum of the peculiar rights enjoyed by each house collectively and by members of each house individually, without which they could not discharge their function, and which exceeds those possessed by other body or individuals. Thus, privilege, though part of the law of the land, is to a certain extent an exemption from the general law. Article 105 and 194 of the Constitution deal with these powers, privilege, and immunity of the houses. One of the main privileges, Article 105 mainly deals with the powers and privileges of both the House of Parliament and its members and committees. The article provides for the following. Freedom of speech in Parliament is subject to the provisions of the Constitution and the rule regarding the procedure of the Houses. It is an essential prerequisite for the efficient discharge of their parliamentary duties, in the absence of which they may not be able to speak out their mind and express their view in the House without any fear. Say the Rajya Sabha Rule Book. Article 121 of the Constitution, however, restrict member from discussing the conduct of the judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court in the House. They cannot discuss the conduct of the judges of Supreme Court and High Court in the House because judiciary, okay, is getting immunity. Okay. Notably, the rules state that if any statement is made on the floor of the House by the member of minister with which another member believes to be untrue, incomplete or incorrect, it does not constitute breach of privilege. However, Rule 353 of the Lok Sabha said that an MP is required to give advance notice of an allegation for the respective minister to conduct an inquiry. A member is exempted from legal action for anything said or vote given in the parliament or one of its committees. The member is also not liable for any publication of a report, paper, vote, or proceeding. Okay. So, power, privilege, and immunity of each House of Parliament and that of its members and committees are required to be defined by Parliament by law. Now, until so defined, shall be those of that House and its members and committees immediately before the coming into force of a section 15 of the Constitution Act 1978, the clause states. The fourth clause states that provisions that apply to MP also expand to non-members. Those who have the right to speak and take part in proceedings of Parliament committee by virtue of the Constitution. Fine. So, detail of these provisions has been mentioned in the Constitution as well as the rules book. Okay.
ସେ ଯୋଉ ଓମାସର ଭିଏସଟି କାଲି ସେଟା ପୋଷ୍ଟପୋନ୍ କରିବା କେବେ ପାଇଁ?
ଖାଲି କଣ
କାଲି ଭିଏସଟି ଥିଲା ନା ଓମାସର 3 ତାରିଖ।
କଣ କାଇଁ ପୋଷ୍ଟପୋନ୍?
ସେ ପଚାରୁଥିଲେ ସେଦିନ ମଧୁସ୍ମିତା କହିଲେ ନା ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ମଧୁଜି ଆମର ଆରେଞ୍ଜ
କାଲିଟା ହବ। ଆମର କେତେଟା ଭିଜିଟ୍ ଅଛି?
3ଟା।
କାଲିଟା ହବ ନେକ୍ସଟ ପୋଷ୍ଟପୋନ୍ କର।
ନାଇଁ କାଲିଟା ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟଟା ଅଛି ନା 1 2 3ଟା ଅଛି ତ କାଲି 3 ତାରିଖ। ସାର୍ ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି କରିଦେଲେ ସରିଯାଆନ୍ତା କାହିଁକିନା ମାର୍ଚ୍ଚ
କେତେଟା ଭିଜିଟ୍ ଥିଲା? କେତେଟା ସରିଲାଣି?
କିଛି ସରିନି ସାର୍
ତ କଣ କାଇଁ ଗୋଟେ ତ କରିଦେଲେ? ତମେ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ରେଡି କରିଦିଅ। ଗୋଟେ କରିଦିଅ ଆଉ ସେଇଟାକୁ ଟାଇମ୍ ଭିତରେ ରେଡି କରିଦିଅ। କାଲିଟା କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁ କର ଆଉ ଦଉଛି okay. So similarly, so the fourth clause state that provisions that apply to MP also extend to non-members. Those who have the right to speak and take part in proceeding of the Parliament committee by virtue of the Constitution, because the Attorney General can present in the Parliament. Some other officials have the right to present in the Parliament. Even it is applicable to them who are the even non-members. Similarly, Article 194 outlines corresponding powers, privilege, and immunity of the state legislature and their member and the committees, one for the parliament, one for the state assemblies, and the state legislatures and the special councils. For validity of any proceeding in parliament cannot be inquired into by a court on the ground of alleged irregularity of procedures as per the provisions of Article 122, because parliament proceedings, okay, cannot be verified by the or inquired by the court of law in the country, because parliament has its own independence and its own immunities. An MP cannot be arrested in a civil case 40 days before the commencement of the House and 40 days after its conclusion. Remember this point, very, very important. Questions come from this. An MP cannot be arrested 40 days before the commencement of the session of the House and committee meeting and 40 days after its conclusion under section 135A of the Civil Procedure Code 1908. However, this privilege is limited to civil cases only, not to criminal cases. An MP does not enjoy an immunity against action in criminal case. So must keep in mind. So he get immunity only in the civil cases. Okay, civil procedure code. Okay, but not in the criminal case. Action can be taken against him in case of criminal case. During the session or otherwise, Parliament, however, reserves the right to receive immediate information on his arrest, detention, conviction, imprisonment, and release of a particular member. So the authority must immediately intimate the House or the Parliament or the legislature about, okay. Okay. So this particular privilege came into the focus in 2022 when the opposition alleged that central agencies such as the Enforcement Directorate (ED), the CBI, and the Income Tax Department were misused by the government to frame political rivals. The then Rajya Sabha chairman, Mr. M. Venkaiah Naidu, has recalled the AK Andalan Nambiar case in which the Supreme Court held that an MP could claim no special status higher than that of an ordinary citizen and is much liable to be arrested, detained, or questioned even during the session. Member has immunity from arrest and service of legal processes within the presidency of the House without proper permission from the chairman or speaker. Fine. This is the case cited by the then Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Is there any act that define parliamentary privilege? Neither parliament nor any state legislature has enacted legislation that defines the power, the privilege and the immunity of the House or that of its members and committees. These immunities are presently governed by precedents by British parliamentary conventions. There is no such rules, but only by parliamentary conventions set by the Britishers in the British Parliament. Because we have borrowed the parliamentary system from the Britain. Amid call for the codification of privileges to remove ambiguity, the Committee of Privileges of the Lok Sabha considered the matter in 2008, but in its report presented to the House on April 30th that year, the panel recommended against the codification of parliamentary privilege, saying that majority who expressed their opinion in the matter did not favor it. What amounts to breach of privilege? As per the Rajya Sabha booklet on privileges, if an individual or authority disregards or undermines a parliamentary privilege of a member of the House, it is called a breach of privilege. Read again. As per the Rajya Sabha booklet on privileges, if any individual or authority disregard or undermine the parliamentary privilege of a member or the House, it is called a breach of privilege. The offence is punishable besides action in the nature of offences against the authority or dignity of the House, such as disobedience to its legitimate order or libel upon itself, its members, committee, or officers, also constitute a breach of privilege. Fine. What is breach of privilege? As per the Rajya Sabha Book of Privilege. Fine. A breach of privilege is different from contempt of House. The contempt of House is defined as any act or omission which obstruct or impedes either House of Parliament in the performance of its function, or which obstruct or impede any member or officer of such House in the discharge of his duty, or which has a tendency directly or indirectly to produce such results. Some examples are speeches or writings reflecting on the character or proceedings of the House or its members, reflection on the character or impartiality of the chair, or the publication of exposed proceedings. So these are the clearly mentioned provisions in the rule books of the Rajya Sabha. Fine. Okay, so Parliament is the sole authority to ascertain if there has been a breach of privilege or contempt of the House. Okay, so no court is entrusted with this matter. So because Parliament is the supreme authority of lawmaking, no court can deal into the matter of the Parliament. A member of the House can raise a question involving a breach of privilege with the consent of the chairman or speaker. If the presiding officer gives consent, the council can either consider the question and come to a decision or refer it to the Committee of Privileges. A 10-member panel in Rajya Sabha and a 15-member panel in Lok Sabha so constitute the committee which deals with to review the breach of privilege by the members. According to Rajya Sabha rule book, the chairman is also empowered to refer so moto any questions of privilege to the committee for examination, investigation and report. The chairman can also himself inquire into a breach of privilege matter instead of referring it to the committee and apprise the House of the results of his inquiry and close the matter. Okay. Okay. So, after a motion of consideration of the report, the committee moves that the House agree or disagree with the amendment and recommended in the report. Further action is taken as per the decision of the House if the resolution is unanimously passed. Okay. So, see, according to Rajya Sabha rule book, the chairman is also empowered to refer so moto any question of privilege to the committee of for examination, investigation, and report. Which committee? The committee on privileges. Okay, the chairman can also himself inquire into the breach of privilege matter instead of referring it to the committee and apprise House of the result of this his inquiry and close the matter. No more than one question is allowed to be raised at the same timing, sitting in the rule states. Adding, the questions are restricted to a specific matter of recent occurrence. Okay. So, which the member can raise. If the member, after being denied, raise the issue again and again, it's a breach of privilege. Okay. How does the committee of privilege work? If the matter is referred to the panel, it examines the question of privilege and decides if a breach of privilege is involved and the nature of the breach and circumstances leading to it. A report with recommendations is then presented to the House for its consideration. As a motion for consideration of the report, the committee moves that the House agree or disagree with the amendment and recommendations in the report. Further, action is taken for the decision of the House if the resolution is unanimously passed. Fine. So this is the provisions in the Parliament regarding the privilege motion. What is the punishment for breach of privilege? The authority to decide the punishment lies with the House. Okay, not even the Speaker, not with the particular privilege committee. A person found guilty of breach of privilege or contempt can be reprimanded, one, or sent to prison by the House. The period for which the House can commit an offender to custody or prison for contempt is limited to the duration of the session of the House. In case its member is found guilty, the MP can be suspended from the House or his expulsion from the House. Extreme steps: suspension, expulsion, and even recommend for arrest. One of the most significant case of breach of privilege was seen in 1970 against Indira Gandhi. The former PM was found guilty of contempt and breach of privilege by the Privilege Committee of the Lok Sabha. After notice accused her of harassing government officials, she was expelled from the parliament and sent to jail. The resolution was, however, rescinded in 1981. So this was in operation, but it is no more in operation since 1981. Okay. So the next topic we will take is an international topic. Okay. So United Nations Committee on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. Okay. So this is go. Let the dragon get. Okay. So representatives of executive government Nityanand from India was established a country a purchasing an island. Okay. Representative the fugitive Godman Nityanand proclaimed country the United States of Kailash. He has created new country and given the name United States of Kailash. Attended a discussion conducted by the United Nations Committee on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights in Geneva in Switzerland. The event was the day of general discussion on general comment on economic, social and cultural rights and sustainable development, where two persons spoke on behalf of the United States of Kailash during the time allocated to raise the question. The United States of Kailash is not among the 193 countries recognized by the United Nations. You know, United Nations has 193 member countries, but United States of Kailash is not one among the member country of United Nations, but they participated at the meeting of this United Nations Committee on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. Okay. In 2020, Nityanand claimed to have founded a new country after he bought an island off the coast of Ecuador. The country has a flag, constitution, an economic system, a passport, and an emblem, but has not yet been recognized internationally and not granted the membership of United Nations. But he represented the country at the present discussion held under the auspices of the United Nations. The okay, the ECSCR. So what is ECSCR? Okay, so it is the United Nation. Okay, ECSCR. Okay, so this is a body of 18 independent experts that monitor the implementation of international covenants on economic, social, and cultural rights. A treaty signed in 1966 by the states parties. Established in May 1985, the committee seeks to develop a constructive dialogue with member states, determine whether the covenants norms are being implemented in member states, and assess how the implementation and enforcement of the covenants could be improved. About High Commissioner for the Human Rights, the United High Commissioner for Human Rights. The High Commissioner for Human Rights is the principal human rights official of the United Nations, because United Nations has Human Rights Council when in 1948. So 1948, the Universal Declaration on Human Rights was passed by the United Nations General Assembly. Okay, and the United Nations Human Right Council. Again, United Nations Human Right Council was created as the watchdog of human rights globally. Okay, so this High Commissioner for Human Rights and the President Council. Okay, okay. So the High Commissioner for Human Rights, the principal human rights official of the United Nations. The United High Commissioner for Human Rights is accountable to the Secretary General for the he is responsible for all the activity of the OHCRC as well as for its administration. Rules carries out the functions specially assigned to him or her by the General Assembly in its resolution 48 by 141 of 20 December 1993 and subsequent resolution of policy making bodies. Okay, so it's a major function. What else? Advise the Secretary General on the policy of the United Nations on the area of human rights. Ensure that support is given to the projects, activities, organs, and bodies in human rights program. Represent the Secretary General at the meeting of human rights organs and at other human rights events, and carries out special assignment as decided by the Secretary General. Appointment in accordance with General Assembly Resolution 48 by 141. The United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights appointed by the Secretary General and the United Nations and approved by the General Assembly with due regard of geographical rotation for a fixed term and 4 year with a possibility of one renewal for another fixed term of 4 years. This is the composition of the Council on Human Rights at United Nations, and this gives a scope to other non-member even to participate in the deliberations as the United States of Kailas, created by Nityanand from India, who had been arrested in India and put behind bar and left the country and from the state near the equator by purchasing an island country, and he created the United States of Kailas. Fine. Then the next topic will take the national topic on the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Parijojana. Okay, so Janaushadhi. Okay, so Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia and said recently that as on January 31st, 2023, number of stores selling cheap generic medicines, Pradhan Janaushadhi Bharatiya Janaushadhi Kendra stood at 9,082 in the country. So you have a Janaushadhi. Janaushadhi store sell the what they sold? They sold the generic medicine. Okay, so you must be knowing. So generic drugs. The generic drug, so whose patent period is over as per the WTO condition. What is in medicine? Medicine content IPR patent, and the patent lasts for few limited years with the pharmaceutical company who worked on the research to develop the particular drug. But after that period is over, the medicine became a generic medicine. Okay, and the generic medicines are available in its own chemical composition. Okay, like for the common cold, we take numb cold, but generic is paracetamol. Yeah. Okay, and India, India is the largest. India has a record in generic medicine. It is the largest manufacturer and exporter of generic medicine in the world. And government is promoting generic medicine. Earlier, generic medicine were sold only through the Janaushadhi store. And initially, Indian Red Cross was given the authority to sell it. But right now, to expand it to the wider cross section, different areas, government has launched the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Parijojana. What about Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Parijojana, and expanded it through private participation, okay, to each nook and corner of the country. That's led to the number of centers selling Janaushadhi stores, Janaushadhi medicines, the medicine counter selling Janaushadhi medicines has increased to 9,082 in the country by the end of January 2023 as reported to the parliament by the health minister. Fine. Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Parijojana is a campaign launched by the Department of Pharmaceuticals in 2008 under the name Janaushadhi campaign. The campaign was revamped as Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Parijojana in 2015-16. Okay, launched in 2008, but the name of the campaign was changed to the Pradhan Mantri Janaushadhi Parijojana. Okay, in 2015-16. Bureau of Pharma PSU of India is the implementing agency of the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Parijojana. Who Bureau of Pharma PSU. The Bureau of Pharma Policy Undertakings of India work under the Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizer, not on the Health Ministry. The Bureau of Pharma Public Sector Undertaking works under the Union Ministry of Chemical and Fertilizers. The Bureau of Pharma of Public Sector in India has also developed a Janaushadhi Sugama application. A medicine is priced on the principle of maximum 50% of average price of the uh, top three brands branded medicines on the same sector. Okay, and thus the price of the Janaushadhi medicines are cheaper by 50% and in some cases by up to 80-90%. Fine, they are cheaper as compared to their patented medicine in the same segment. Fine. To make available quality medicine, consumable and surgical item at affordable price for all and reduce out-of-pocket expenditure of the consumer patient. But the objective of this Pradhan Mantri Janaushadhi Parijojana to make available quality medicines, consumables and surgical item at affordable price for all and reduce out-of-pocket expenditure of consumer and patients to popularize generic medicines among the masses and dispel the prevalent notion that low price generic medicines are of inferior quality or as less effective. Medicines are not sweets that higher price, higher size. Okay. Okay, so generic medicines among the masses and dispel the prevalent notion that low priced generic medicines are of inferior quality or less effective. Generic medicine are unbranded medicines, means without any patent, the patent is over, which are equally safe and having the same efficacy and as that of the branded medicine in terms of their therapeutic value. To ensure easy availability of the menstrual health service, Janaushadhi Subhida sanitary napkins to all women across India is also being made available. Generate employment by engaging individual entrepreneurs in the opening of Pradhan Mantri Janaushadhi Parijojana Kendra to sell the Janaushadhi store medicines. Okay, so right now, initially, government authorized only Indian Red Cross Society to open this store to sell the Janaushadhi. But right now, government is allowing private entrepreneurs to open such shop to sell the generic medicine. That led to. To ensure its availability, these stores are right now being opened through private participation. These are the center from where quality generic medicines are made available to all. Bureau of Pharma PSU in India support Janaushadhi Kendra as part of the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Parijojana. The government has set a target to increase the number of Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Kendra to 10,500 by the end of March 2025, and at around 9,000 plus centers have been opened. Product basket of the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janaushadhi Parijojana comprises 1451 drugs, 240 surgical instruments. Further, medicines and nutritional products like the protein powder, Malta-based food complements, protein bar, immunity bar, sanitizer, mask, glucometer, oximeter, etc. have also been launched to be sold through the Pradhan Mantri Janaushadhi Parijojana stores. Okay, and these things are available at a cheaper rate. And if I go slightly out of this context, so I always use this Janaushadhi medicines because I purchase a bulk drug for my elderly parents, and since last 5 years, no more than that, I am purchasing generic medicines. Although all are not available, but a substantial 50% of the total medicine required for my parents is available in the Janaushadhi stores. I am purchasing it, and they're good quality and at a fraction of the cost, means around one fourth or one tenth cost for some medicines, and they're very effective, and the wide range of products are available, and they're available much cheaper rate. And right now the shops have been opened at each and nook and corner to easier on the part of the at least the educated persons to use the Janaushadhi medicines, and it will be definitely reducing the out of pocket expenditure for all. But for common man, there's an apprehension that this medicine being cheaper will be not that effective, but it's a very clear misconception. The medicines being the patent period being over, they are cheaper. And the patented medicines, the pharma companies spend millions of dollars or crores of rupees on the research. They charge exorbitantly high on the patented medicines. But because of this patent period is over, these generic medicines are so cheaper. Fine. And government has taken a very nice step in arranging this Pradhan Mantri Janaushadhi Parijojana and opening the Janaushadhi stores where generic medicines are sold at a much cheaper rate, and these stores are right now open in all over the country, and there is a target to open 10,500 such stores all over the country by 2025, out of which 9,000 plus stores have been opened. Is a good news for all the persons who are spending a huge amount on purchasing medicines of common use at a regular interval every month. Fine. Then the next is the proton beam therapy, a new therapy in cancer treatment. Fine. What is this proton beam therapy? Okay, so cancer patient in India has twin challenges when it comes to accessing proton beam therapy (PBT). There are no enough or not enough facility of offering the treatment, and the cost can run into tens of lakhs of rupees. So that is why. So this remain a big challenge for the patient in India. But this proton beam therapy, it is an advanced form of radiotherapy with a radiation treatment delivered by accelerated proton beams rather than by X-ray. Normally, the in a cancer treatment, this radiation treatment is given through X-ray, fine, X-ray beam. But in the proton beam therapy, the proton beam is used to give this radiation treatment. A proton beam delivers some radiation to a healthy tissue in reaching the tumor, but very little radiation beyond the edge of the tumor being treated. This means the proton beam therapy is able to treat cancer just as effectively, but delivers less radiation to other healthy part of the body which surrounds the tumor. Fine. Significance: the proton beam therapy is a newer technology that is designed to further reduce the amount of radiation that affect the surrounding normal tissue. The therapy enables a dose of high energy protons to be precisely targeted at a tumor, reducing the damage to surrounding healthy tissue and vital organs, which is an advance in certain group of patients or where the cancer is close to a crucial part of the body such as the spinal cord. So especially if the spinal cord there is a cancer and the laser X-ray beam is used to give the treatment, it may affect the peripheral This is cells of the tissues. But in the proton beam therapy, it is much reduced. Okay. The proton beam therapy is being used increasingly to treat children with cancer. The chances of curing the cancer is not than with conventional radiotherapy, but it likely to reduce the severity of the long-term side effect, although it will not eliminate them altogether. So, proton beam therapy is not a panacea for cancer treatment, but it reduces the impact or the damage to the nearby tissues in case like the normal radiation or X-ray therapy. For adults, the main use of the proton beam therapy has been to treat cancers close to part of the body which are very sensitive to the damaging effect of the radiation. For example, the proton beam therapy is used to treat certain cancer at the base of the skull, deep inside the head and close to the brain, and cancers of the spine which are close to the spinal cord. This is a specific cancer where the proton beam therapy can be more better used for better result. Okay. Then the next news is on the Indian States Energy Transition Report about the energy transition, energy consumption report published by the reported in India. Fine. Indian State Energy Transition released recently has analyzed 16 states which together account for 90% of India's annual power requirement. The report prepared by the Institute of Energy Economics and Financial Analysis along with the EMBER. Fine. According to the report, Karnataka and Gujarat are among the major states making the most progress in transition to clean electricity. That means so avoiding carbon based or coal based that coal-based power production. So these two states, Gujarat and Karnataka, shifted to clean energy. Okay. So based on the analysis, the report devices is scoring system, state electricity transition or SCT, which measures performance of different states in the transition to clean electricity. Karnataka is the only state among the 16 analyzed that scored well across all the four dimensions on clean electricity transition identified in this study. It also has conducive policy and political commitment for a smoother transition in this domain. So policy and political commitment, readiness for power ecosystem, performance of power system, and decarbonizing the four parameters 1, 2, 3, and 4 parameters. This is calculated on the these four parameters, and the parameters include political and that policy and political commitment by the government, readiness of the power system, how the power system has been made ready, performance of the power system after changing over, and decarbonization means how they have changed to clean energy in the energy generation process. A decarbonization of preparedness to shift away from fossil fuel based power, performance power system to create effective green market pools, readiness for power ecosystem to transform power system ensuring reliable supply, policies and political commitment, proactiveness in promoting innovative policy. Okay, so these are all being achieved by Karnataka at the top level. Karnataka has been an early adopter of the renewable energy through proactive policy around open access, solar park development, and public awareness. The state fared the best in carbonizing its power sector and had the highest share of renewable in its power supply mix. The analysis found that Karnataka currently is one of the few states overachieving its renewable purchase obligations target. The state will have a large amount of untapped renewable energy potential, having installed just 11% of its total potential, the report noted. This highlight the state that this highlight the state's tremendous opportunity to provide power to neighboring states through green market mechanism, because once the state generates huge amount of green energy, it can sell the green power to the other neighboring states. Fine. That is what is the point of discussion at present. Okay, so Gujarat was a little behind Karnataka in terms of decarbonizing its electricity sector. Haryana and Punjab have shown promising preparation and implementation for electricity transition from fossil fuel based carbon centric electricity generation to clean energy option, where the more and more renewable energy will be used, especially solar and other renewable sources. Rajasthan is second only to Karnataka with renewable supplying 29% of the state power mix. We saw a spurt in renewable energy capacity, and in March 2022 became the state with the largest installed capacity of renewable energy. As of September 2022, Punjab turned about a quarter of its renewable energy potential into installed capacity and targets to install solar PV project with a total capacity of 300 megawatt. Haryana had the lowest installed capacity of older, more polluting coal power plants. It only had about 210 megawatt coal power capacity older than 25 years old, which is much lower than the number in other states. Maharashtra, with the highest power demand in India, was found to be mid-table, mainly due to solar renewable energy uptake in the state and the inability to shut down older polluting coal power plant. Its renewable energy share is hardly 11%, lower than most other states. Then suggestions Bihar, UP, West Bengal have work to do to strengthen their clean electricity transition performance. These states should maximize their renewable energy generation potential and at the same time increase commitment to moving away from fossil fuel based electricity. Fine. So then coming to the question, or the question, India has introduced a draft to launch the Millet International Initiative for Research and Awareness (MIRA). In the budget, the finance minister has declared about the after that. So this MIRA program will encourage the consumption and production of millet. Millet are part of the group of small grain cereals crops used as both food and fodder. They were earlier preferred to as coarse cereal or cereal of the poor. The government renamed these as nutri-cereals owing to their high nutritional value recently. The government has decided to launch Millet International Initiative for research and awareness to promote millet at the international level. This is also the line with United Nations Declaration of 2023 at the International Year of the Millets as per the Indian proposal. As per the Indian proposal, United Nations has declared 2023 as Year of Millets. And millet is being given much emphasis right now. Then more main objective of media, food security and nutrition are the top priority of the in agriculture for Indian during the G20 presidency, and hence India decided to launch media because India is going to host the G20 summit, being the G20 president for 2023, and the food security being a big challenge right now for the global community because in neighborhood you can say Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan all are going through severe food crisis. So many countries in Africa are facing food crisis. China is facing food crisis. So many countries around the world are facing food crisis. Millet can supplement to that. Mira will be launched keeping in mind the nutritional value and the climate resilient nature of the millet because millet are can be cultivated in the rain-fed area without any without any requirement of arranging special irrigation facility for them. That is why so this has been launched by the government. Fine. Food security and nutrition are the top priority. And Mira will be launched keeping in mind the nutritional value and the climate resilient nature of the millets. So Mira will aim to conduct millet research organizations across the world while also supporting research on millet crops. Besides setting up a web platform to connect research and holding international research conferences, the plan is also to promote millet consumption by raising awareness. For Mira to take off, India will contribute the seed money, while each G20 member will later have to contribute to its budget in the form of membership fee. So India will contribute the seed money to start this Mira, and Mira will coordinate the countries, the millet producing countries, do research on the particular grain and ensure that it is produced more and it fulfill the nutritional requirement of the global community. Fine. The significance of millet crop for agriculture and food security, solution for food system divide. According to expert, a lack of appropriate appreciation of the benefit of millet and policy that have favored the production of the big three cereals, the rice, wheat, and the maize, have resulted in a food system divide. A renewed focus on boosting the production of millet and highlighting their benefit is critical to reducing over reliance on commonly grown crop, boosting diverse diets and food security. Impact or the objective. Addressing pollution challenges, the whole needs to produce more food to feed a rapidly growing global population, which is projected to reach 8.5 billion by 2030. Millet can help address this issue. Fine. Sustainable agriculture, by offering a reduced dependence on synthetic fertilizer and pesticides, millet cultivation helps promote a shift towards sustainable agriculture and diversifying crop rotation. The high carbon content of the crop residue make them important for maintaining and increasing soil carbon level, which is important for a sustainable cropping system. Millet are capable of growing under drought conditions, under non-irrigated conditions, even in very low rainfall regimes, and have a low water footprint. Providing health benefits, millet are an excellent source of antioxidants and help enhance the capability of probiotic with potential health benefits. They play a role in the body's immunity system, a solution to tackle childhood nutrition and iron deficiency like anemia. Okay, millet are gluten free with low glycemic index, making them a great food option for those with special like the health issues. Livelihood opportunity for small scale farmers by ensuring the consumption and production of these underutilized crops. Additional opportunity for small scale farmers can be created in the country. Fine. Millet have the potential to help achieve sustainable development goal, mainly the SDG 2, zero hunger, SDG 3, good health and well-being, SDG 12, sustainable consumption and production. India is the largest producer of millet in the world with a share of 31%. India's effort to promote the consumption and production of millet got a boost when the UN accepted the country's proposal and dedicated 2023 to spread awareness about these grains around the world. Okay, so in the country and around the world, millet is being popularized and as a healthy food for the uh, fulfilling the food requirement of the country. Fine. Then come to the MCQs. With reference to proton beam therapy, consider the following. The major advantage of proton beam therapy treatment is that the radiation acts directly in the tumor without damaging other parts of the body. It's right. India does not have any proton beam therapy unit. India have. Okay. So only one is correct. So two is incorrect. Then moving to question number 2. What's the following statement about the Bureau of Pharma PSU of India BPPI? It is an implementing agency of the Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Parijojana. It is registered as an independent society under the society standards. So both are correct here. Okay, with the following statement with regard to a privilege of the member of parliament are correct. Privilege could not be fettered by Article 19A, 191A of the Constitution of India. Okay, so it is correct. Okay. Privilege must be read subject to Article 20, 22 and Article 32 in the Constitution, right? Immunity is available. Okay. Immunity is available in relation to both civil and criminal prosecution is wrong because only in the civil prosecution, not in the criminal prosecution. 3 is incorrect. Immunity is available in relation to freedom of speech even in her private or personal capacity. That is so right. So only 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4 is A is the right option for here. Then 4. With reference to recently released report, India States Energy Transition consider the following statement. Karnataka is the only state among all the 28 states that scored well across all the 4 dimensions of clean electricity transition. That is right. A report has been released by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency biannually. It is incorrect. Fine. So only one. With reference to Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights, consider the following statement. Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights is the leading UN entity on human rights in the world. It's not it is in the not United Nations. It's United Nations High Commission for that on that Human Rights Council is separate. This is it's not the United Nations. The above office has been created on the Vienna Declaration Plan of Action. So one is correct and two is incorrect. Okay. So answer will be B. Fine. With reference to exercise Cobra Warrior, Cobra, the exercise Cobra barrier is a bilateral air exercise between India and USA. You know, Cobra barrier. Okay, so is incorrect. The exercise aims to participate in fighter aircraft engaged in learning from the best practices from each other's airports. It is also so. Both are incorrect. So answer is she. In India, why are some nuclear reactors kept under the IAEA safeguards while the rest are the subnet? Some use uranium and others use thorium. Okay, so some use imported uranium and others use domestic supply. That is why they are kept separately. Right, option is B. Okay. Consider the following statement. The Unique Identity Authority in India is a statutory authority. UIDAI. Okay. Is a statutory authority. Yes, it is. It made a statutory one. It was not initially statutory, but subsequently made a statutory. UIDAI is responsible for issuing Aadhaar number to individual authentication records of an individual. Both are correct. The reference to New Broadcasting and Digital Standard Authority, consider the following. The NBDSA is statutory body set up under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. It is incorrect. Okay, so it carries out activity to promote, protect, and secure the interest, including right of freedom of speech and expression of the new broadcast, digital news, media, and other related issues. So it is right. That's the following statement. Mirage 2000 is a twin engine fighter jet. Okay, so it's incorrect one. Hal Tejas is a delta wing jet fighter. It is right. Rafale is a hypersonic fighter jet. It is supersonic. So it is only two is correct. This way your today's discussion is over. Keep on watching regularly to know the developments MCQs on a daily basis. Thank you.